I said, all raindrops have one job, is to work their way back home. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, when they get that water, they got to work their way back. If they get the land and the dirt, they got to work their way back to the river, to the stream, to the ocean. We humans, when we're born, we have one thing to do. God don't give a damn about a PhD like your daddy got, or a PhD like your mama got, or how much money you got in the bank, or if you're black, you're white, you're rich, you're poor, you can read, you can't read. God has one law. When you come here, the only thing you have to do is work your way back home. I brought you through that little door called your mama's womb. But all you got to do is work your way. And I have one restriction. You better be as clean when you get back as you was when I put you here. You're not born a racist, or a bigot, or a thief, or a murderer. You pick that up on the way. And then I said to my grandson, let me explain this to you a little better. I was 7 years old, and my mama came and got me out of school half day because she wanted to take me to this spiritualist woman that said, you got a son that got something on his head, and I want to tell you he's going to be great one day. And my mama, she believed in that in school, you know. And so I came home, and we had to be there at 1 o'clock, so she washed my face and put my little suit on and dressed me up. It was raining like hell. She said, now you sit here on the porch, I'm going to go get dressed. And don't get dirty. 7 years old. I go to play with them, and they mad because I'm all dressed up. They threw me in the mud, and I ran up and knocked on the door. Mommy, 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 look what this. She opened the door and said, boy, just look at you. I told you not to get. You can't come in this house looking like that. Hey. She didn't say I couldn't come in. She said, I can't come in there looking like that. I said, so son, just hope that you carry yourself in a way that when you get to that big door, you won't hear coming out that door what my mother said to me, you can't come in here looking like that. Just that simple. Now y'all play all the games you want, get hung up in all the churches you want, be full of hatred, let somebody reduce you below your dignity and don't know you violating the universal God. Let a bunch of thugs control your food, a bunch of hoodlums control your education, everything. And y'all think y'all are so powerful and clean. They got engineered animals that you put on your table every day, and America's the only country don't have to put on the label that they've been cloned and you think you're free. Huh? So you youngsters, you got a big job. And if you understand King and what he stood for, it's an easy job. And you're doing it for other folks as well as yourself. What a glorious night tonight. To know King. And to know where this have led to. Because as long as you're on this planet, with Obama, people that's not born are going to ask you about Tuesday. It's going to ask you about it. The biggest thing that's ever happened in the history of the planet because it's being televised. So I say to you youngsters, As a human being, I'm sorry that I'm part of the group that left you the mess to clean up. But now you have no choice. I love you. God bless you. Peace be with you.
Now, you're shading that staff that you were shaving and decorating that with the poor Revolutionary War veteran. That's good. You can use that in several kind of ways. And if you put all the stuff as I suggest, but I think will happen, I don't know, you won't know either until you experiment, and do the GoFundMe.com, you're probably going to get more results out of that than you getting out of, the other taping that we got on, because people aren't responding to that. That stuff that you did, and when you talk about the aquaponics and stuff, you have to make everything is relative, and everything that you put together that's relative, it makes sense when you're talking about the Parting Ways project. When you're talking about the Illuminati, it's so much web already on the Illuminati, and most people are too busy, making a little bit of worry about the other shit, slow and getting a chance to school back and forth. You want to put stuff that people are going to read. Eric stuff, that's counterproductive to anything that we are doing, because in commenting that, in the Panther stuff, it just don't mix with history and veterans and all of that. The stuff you got in there with Ray Bowers, Representative Keating and Benny, those videos that Eric made, you should make use of that in your Parting Ways project, because they can't back away from that, and that's a forever permanent record. Period of what they said, how they said it, is relative to the Parting Ways project. You need to keep, if you're going to make a video, you need to keep all the stuff that's relative to that. Vinny DiMatteo, I would do his entire speech. Ron Armstead, I would do that one. I would also do Dr. Mark Addix. And when you do that, you need to put in that segment where you diagram in the video what a Parting Ways museum would look like, because you've already laid that out. But all that other stuff, Gino Raimondo's speech, and the other governor that you had before the last one you had, when he did the stuff out in Rhode Island with the Revolutionary War veterans up there, because Rhode Island was the first black regiment, period. If you could put all of that together and capture that in a way, along with your speech, I thought that how you explained it all.
And when you read the history of what happened and the incredible ferocity, the incredible dedication that they brought, and the battle as part of the Battle of Rhode Island. And I was reading that Marquis de Lafayette referred to it as the greatest action of the war. That battle, he come out, and the French really thought they knew how to run a war. Okay.
Attention, this email has been intercepted by the National Security Agency. We will be asking you a series of questions before returning you your email. Don't be alarmed. Your participation is voluntary. Please stand by while we test microphones at your address. Mouse, doc, bedroom pillows, doc, toilet seat, doc, audio check. Please say your name. We couldn't hear you.
Activating Microsoft Mind Reader 2.1.
Eyeball, green go. Cranial implant, green. Please look me in the eye while I read your mind. Thank you. First question. Do you consider yourself a law-abiding citizen? Wrong. You are lying. You have an unpaid parking ticket. Next question. Do you consider yourself morally upright? Wrong. You are lying. You have rented several R-rated movies. Next question. Have you ever made disparaging remarks about A, our president, A, our vice president? Wrong. You are lying. The fact that you find this humorous indicates you do not respect our leaders. Test over. 3 incorrect answers. You have been categorized. An elevated security risk. Your email will be monitored until further notice. Questionable content, such as A, graphics, A, audio, will be censored. Thank you. We return you your email.
There is something very wrong with our world. In the ensuing years since the attacks upon New York's World Trade Center on September 11, 2001, our societies have gone down very different paths to what the people of the world had hoped to see ushered in with the new millennium. Now there is a sense of foreboding that encompasses the globe, a sense that all is not quite right, that some unseen malaise exists like a deep undercurrent that flows just below the surface of everyday affairs. Though we are constantly told of all the problems that we face, concerns over global terrorism, famine, disease, global warming and global warfare, it has become apparent to many that below the surface problems we are repeatedly shown by the media, another problem does indeed exist. Such feelings are being expressed by a great many people, and these feelings are justified, for this earth and humanity itself does indeed face a massive threat. It is not the threat of global terrorism or the threat of war. It is not the threat of environmental disaster or global warming. It is something more sinister, something that lies within. Different people blame different groups or conspiracies for these problems. Club of Rome, the Bilderbergers, Freemasons, Bohemian Club. Some say Zionists or the Vatican conspiracy. Some say Skull and Bones, and the list goes on.
Is in Washington, D.C., and by February 1973, they had accumulated $15 million for their population budget without many of the directors' knowledge. They pushed some of this money to the Bahamas, which is now linked in the Bahamas. Dr. Jose Delgado, the man who was working on the electrode implants for Navy intelligence and for